As a teacher, your learning patterns are different from that of a child. You have a foundation of life experiences to draw on. You think about problems and goals and want results. You are self-directed and can prepare yourself. You accept responsibility and you want respect. These things enable you to use the teacher's guide to make your work easier and more beneficial to the children.
We start off with the great teacher Socrates, who said, "I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think." I think that is the essence of this exercise. This is going to be a practical experience. Adults, as we'll be able to see, would be hands-on people, practical-oriented people for reasons I'll be able to tell you. So one of the tasks you have will be able to generate thought in them to reflect on their practice. Next, today we are talking, not when I went to teacher training, we talk about teacher training. Later on, they changed it to teacher education. Then now today, in the US, they are not talking about all those things. They are talking about teacher preparation. The idea is you don't really train anybody to be anything. You don't educate anybody to be anything. You merely prepare them, because it's a lifelong learning process. So what we will be doing with the training is not to give them a one-shot training. It's to prepare them to face those challenges in the classroom. And already you have started to highlight most of those challenges. We are not short of the ideas about those challenges. But then how do we really help those teachers to address those challenges in a practical way? And for this training in particular, like the director in her introduction did say, we have very limited objectives. It is not to go back to all those theories about learning principles. What is it, Piaget, Thorndike, Brunner, and that kind of thing. No. These teachers are already in the classrooms. We need to be familiar with those integrated materials. We need to know about the strategies that are provided in those materials. We need to know about the integration process itself. We also need to know about the DVD that is going to be produced, how parents will be taken on board. So indeed, we need to know about that integration process and how we are going to help those teachers become better participants in that process. So andragogy is the art and science of helping adults learn, as opposed, of course, to pedagogy. Very briefly, there are basic differences between younger learners and adult learners. Adult learners are problem-centered. They have a problem in their classrooms. How do I handle this new integrated material? That's a problem they have. You need to help them with them. Most school teaching is subject-centered. Adults are result-oriented. They want, after that training, they go back to their schools. They are better able to use those integrated materials, to use the teacher's guides. Pupils are feature-oriented. They go to school and say, what do you want to become? I want to become a nurse. I want to become a pilot. We can name everything. But they are not, whatever we are preparing children for is for the future. And sometimes most of the things we teach them is never useful to them later on in life. For adults, whatever you are teaching them, it has to be practical, it has to be relevant, they need to apply it immediately in their profession. But when I say adults are skeptical, and this has been found out, even in the development world. In the past, development partners, people just came and said, technical assistant, you need a dam here, you need a school here, you need this. After 50 years, they found out that it was not working. Today, what are they talking about? Partnership. They said development is not doing it for people, it is doing it with them. Similarly, we are discovering that development of the teacher is not telling them what they should do. We should sit in partnership with them as equal and as cooperative. Let them tell us also their own problem. We negotiate, and of course we get to a solution to that. Because it's been realized that those who wear their shoes, they know where it hurts most. So from all those, these are the characteristics of adult learners. We might only be repeating them now. They are autonomous. They have accumulated foundation of life experiences and knowledge, which I was talking about. That knowledge and life experiences need to be valued and need to be taken into account. It's not to tell them, but that's your backward idea. No. They are goal-oriented. They have a goal in mind, which they want to improve their profession. And whatever you teach them, it should be relevant to them, not for the future. At the end of the training, they want to go and become better teachers in their classrooms. They want something like hands-on training. And we've seen quite a good bit of it here. All the presentations have been kind of hands-on, practical-oriented. So when you go out there to teach those teachers, it has to be hands-on, practical-oriented. But then also you have to keep in mind the anxiety of the teachers, taking them away from their comfort zone. But over and above everything else, adult learners need to be shown respect. They need to be shown respect. You have to treat them like colleagues. You have to treat them like partners who have accumulated a wealth of knowledge and experience. And that knowledge and experience should be taken on board in the learning process. Yeah, so it's not just knowledge, but also attitude. If somebody has learned something and his attitude has not changed, then that is not learning. If we have to help those teachers, their attitude in the classroom has to change. Ask questions. And the questions you might ask is, from your experience, what would this be? What do you know about this? When you ask such questions, it means you are valuing their experience. From your experience, how do we do this? What do you think about this? How can we better prepare this? So ask them those questions. Review their statements. When they give answers, and I didn't see much of that in those last presentations. When somebody gives an answer, restate his answer. You said 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that what you said? He says yes. Well, do we all agree with what he has said? You become the facilitator. Let it not be a two-way traffic between somebody who is saying something and that kind of thing. Pose it to the whole group. Let them all contribute to it. But the way they can contribute to it is when you restate somebody's statement back to him. Let him hear it himself.